Good morning. I'm over here, tall on the inside. Nice to see you all. My name is Daniel. It's good to be back. What a lovely place, really, truly is. And thank you to a whole bunch of people for a warm welcome before I even sang a note, which is always nice and appreciated. So we're going to start with a song to sing together. Now, I don't know about you, but I'm not finding the current daily event climate to be all that relaxing. Maybe you are. Maybe you turn on the news or whatever and think to yourself, it's just lovely. Just so fluid and stressless. Isn't this great? That's not my general vibe these days. So I'm going to be singing you a bunch of songs today and sharing with you some ideas today that are intended to be an internal antidote to that stress, okay? And it's for real. It's not shtick. It's not a script. It's something that I think about and have applied in my own life, and the songs are true for me, and I'm not a master of any of it, and I'm a hypocrite in every possible way. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, this is a real thing I'm going to share with you today. So we're going to start with a song that does not get us on our feet. This morning is not about rousing, getting the heart racing. I'm kind of going the opposite direction, if that's okay. So if you're feeling any anxiety about anything, I'm going to take a deep breath. You're invited to take a deep breath. So welcome to this beautiful building on a Sunday morning. The sun is shining, and let's sing this song together. Get ready, my soul. I'm diving in. Sing that line with me. Get ready, my soul. I'm diving in. I'm diving in to the deepest kind of love, to the deepest kind of love, the sweetest kind of life, to the sweetest kind of life. Get ready, my soul. Everything I've ever done, everything I've ever seen, everything I've lost or won, everything I've ever dreamed has brought me here to the present moment, here to a new beginning, here. And I'm seeing life so clearly now. Get ready, my soul. I'm diving in. I'm diving in. Get ready, my soul. I'm diving into the deepest kind of love, to the deepest kind of love, the sweetest kind of life, to the sweetest kind of life. Get ready, my soul. Get ready, my soul. If I actually was to write that line today, I don't know if I'd use the word diving, to be honest. Diving seems to me to require a little bit of effort and concentration and technique. I'd almost say reclining into the deepest kind of love. Napping into the deepest kind of love, does that count? Trusting into the deepest kind of love. So we begin our morning with one more deep breath. Just glad to be here. Glad to be alive. And ready for the sweetest kind of life, whatever that is.
Thank you. I think I'm getting ready. Welcome to Unity of the Valley Spiritual Center on this beautiful November Sunday morning. I'm Bob Panzer, your service assistant today. And today is the first Sunday in November. And what does that mean? It's birthday Sunday. So if you have a birthday anytime in the month of November, of course Warren and Doylene and you, that's wonderful. Okay, we are going to bless them with a happy birthday.
All right, who's singing the solo? Who's got the lead on this? Nobody? All right. Happy birthday to thank you so much. We're glad you were born. Me too. It's now time for the lighting of our Christ candle, and I invite Evie and Adele, our brave children, to come up and help me with that. Thank you. So I think you know what to do. I just come here and give you all the support I can. That's perfect. Perfect. Yes, thank you so much. And how about this light? We only need that light. Perfect. Okay, let's go out front. And remember that this light is the Christ that's in each of us, the Christ light. So now we want to bless you. And so together, you are a beautiful child of God, perfect in every way. You are loved unconditionally,
just the way you are. And of course, if it's true for them, it's true for all of us. So we, beautiful children of God, perfect in every way, we are loved unconditionally, just the way we are. Okay. And now is there a song that we can make up here, Daniel?
Yes, let's make up a song. Actually, you know what? I have a little song to sing for the girls and for all of you. I hadn't thought about it. It's a song I wrote for a group of kids a long time ago, and here's how it goes. Ready? You are a miracle, God's child. You are a miracle, God's child. You have perfect love in your heart. You are a miracle, God's child. You want to sing it together? Here we go. You are a miracle, God's child. Sing it again. You are a miracle, God's child. You have perfect love. You have perfect love in your heart. In your heart, you are a miracle, God's child. God's child.
Do it again to make it perfect. I now want to introduce our prayer chaplains, Donovan and Pat, who are standing over there, and they are here to listen and share with you any of your feelings or thoughts confidentially after the service and pray with you. Thank you for being here. And now, up on the screen is coming our community highlights. Coming in 2 weeks, this from today, Sunday, November 20th, Unity of the Valley Spiritual Center will be hosting Radiant Being. Well, what is that? It's one of Lawson's music projects, along with many other projects out of Sacramento. It's a diverse, dynamic family that performs and produces music in various genres, including Celtic, inspirational, folk, rock, and Baroque. They'll be our guest musicians at the 10 a.m. service, followed by a concert at noon, and the admission is $25. You can pay online at unityvacaville.org or pay at the door, but no one will be turned away. And next is the craft fair coming up this coming Saturday, November 12th, and it's from 9 a.m. to 2 p.m. in the parking lot. The weather's going to be perfect. Marcy.
But the weather's going to be perfect, you just said.
Yeah, I wish I could hear. Did anybody hear her?
Yeah, moved inside. The craft fair was moved in.
It's been moved inside. That's the late breaking news. Okay. Okay, so the weather will be perfect inside. So this is a good time to start, finish, or do your Christmas shopping. And lots of handmade and one-of-a-kind items are available. And there's a hot dog lunch at the amazing price of $5. Hasn't changed in years. So be sure to come for that. And it's a Unity fundraiser, of course. Now, today, I don't know if you noticed, but we have Daniel Nahmod here. And he's also going to have a concert for us at 12 noon. and no one will be turned away. And then next Sunday is November 13th. At 11:30, the Board of Trustees invites you to attend a town hall meeting, and this is your opportunity to ask questions that you may have about the status of Unity of the Valley. So please attend. If you can't, then there is a Zoom session that you can join, and so there will be a link to that coming soon. So now I would like to introduce Daniel Nahmod. I'm not going to do all these pages, or he wouldn't have time to talk and give his message, so I'm just going to do a brief bio introduction. Daniel Nahmod began his career as a singer and songwriter and humanitarian since 1999, and probably before, because he was that person. His website lists 99 compositions, and I'm sure there are even more. His message has reached congregations of the major faiths, and he has been throughout the country and Canada. He's responded to numerous humanitarian crises with benefit concerts. So some of us already know Daniel, who came here with one of those atmospheric rivers last year. I think this year he's just bringing us more gentle rain, so that's good. So because of that last year, we were rewarded with an extended concert of music and stories. So over the years, we've enjoyed hearing performance here before he ever started here, coming here, When I Pray. And some of you, I think, Don, you've actually sung that, When I Pray, at our service. And a group of us have even sung one of my favorites, Wanna Be Like Water. So let's welcome Daniel Nahmod. Thank you. So it's now time for us to remember our statement of faith. So together, there is only one presence and one power in the universe and in my life, God.
Unfortunately for you all, there is a lot of blank and unplanned space in the middle of this service, and it has been handed to me. So good luck, everybody. There's a shocking lack of structure in what's about to happen. I used to host retreats. Maybe I will again, but I would host retreats on the subject that I'm going to share with you today. And people would come to national parks, is where I would host them, and they would arrive and figure that I would hand them an itinerary, and I specifically would hand them no itinerary, because I don't know if you noticed, but not to wax, pretentious or poetic, but it doesn't seem like there's much of a planned or written itinerary for much. Most itineraries were handed are sort of speculative and go out the window within 5 minutes. Have you ever made a 10-point or 2-week plan that came true? So I won't even pretend to tell you I know where we're going. Okay? Deal. Anybody else unnerved by that thought? That's kind of the point. thinking about what motivates me to give a couple dollars to a stranger on the street, to hold the door, carry groceries, help a neighbor in need. When history repeats itself in headlines every day, solutions are never big enough for problems that we face. As a man, as a dad, what difference can I make? 'Cause I know better than to think I'll be remembered for a favor or a quarter or a smile. Oh, but maybe before I return to sender, I can do one thing worthwhile. So I'm gonna try to raise a kind child. Sure would help if our boy went and got an MBA and took care of his artist mom and dad in their old age. But let's face it, Wall Street probably isn't in his DNA. But when his first grade teacher said she wanted us to know, it's Jude who always comforts any kid who sits alone. There's just so much pride my heart can take. My retirement can wait. Cause I know better than to think I'll be remembered for a fortune or a pension or a prize. Oh, but maybe before I return to sender, I'll have done one thing worthwhile. So I'm gonna try to raise a kind child. I don't want him to think the world is his to save. It's too much pressure anyway, it can't be done. I don't want him to think he has to be a saint, 'cause the truth is saints don't have any fun. Mostly I just hope, my boy, you'll come to understand. No 401k or GPA can make a happy man. It's having roots, doing good, helping out where you can. So put down roots, do some good, take somebody's hand. And you'll know better than most what really matters, what makes living this life worthwhile. And there may come a day your own kids will remember how their granddad used to say with a smile that he raised. We raised a kind child. I've seen my share of struggle when I thought that I knew best, when I've sailed through a storm instead of stopping to rest. But it always seems the hardest when I've made up my stubborn mind. Well, I'm changing my ways this time. Wanna be like water coming down a mountain into shadowy canyons, flowing from pool to stream. Wanna be like water Head uphill no more, I am bound for the sea. Have you ever seen an eagle head straight into the wind? He doesn't pick a fight, spreads his wings and just gives in. And in the end he always makes it home just fine. Guess he knows that every storm subsides. Wanna be like water coming down a mountain into shadowy canyons, flowing from pool to stream. Wanna be like water, head uphill no more, I am bound for the sea. I'll let nature take its course, no more thinking that I know where this river's meant to go. I have railed against the stars for the cards that I've been dealt, for the lottery I've never won, for the heartache that I've felt. But it always seems when I let go of expectation and regret, life has plenty of surprises for me yet. I want to be like water coming down a mountain into shadowy canyons, flowing from pool to stream. Want to be like water, head uphill no more, I am bound for the sea. Wanna be like water coming down a mountain into shadowy canyons, flowing from pool to stream. Wanna be like water, head uphill no more, I am bound for the sea. What do I do if I'm not chasing anything? What do I do if I've got everything that I need? It's a question that no one's prepared me to answer. Where do I go if I'm right where I'm supposed to be? Where do I go if wherever I am home? It's a mystery. No one can give me an answer. If the usual way doesn't work anymore, if there's no map for what life has in store, what if the race is over and we all automatically win? What if the game is ended long before it even begins? What if the test has been taken and we're all passing again and again? If the race is over, what then? What do I say if it's all perfect anyway? What do I say if I'm not here to change anyone? It's a question I truly don't know how to answer. How do I live if my life is eternity? How do I live if I'm no longer afraid to die? It's a mystery. No one can give me an answer. If the usual way doesn't work for me now, well, that's a void I know nothing about. What if the race is over and we all automatically win? What if the game is ended long before it even begins? What if the test has been taken and we're all passing again and again? If the race is over, what then? What is the purpose of time here on earth? How do I now define my death and birth? For that matter, what is my life really worth in the end? What's mine to give and what's mine to receive? Whom do I worship? What do I believe? It seems every answer comes right back to me in the end. What if the race is over and we all automatically win? What if the game is ended long before it even begins? What if the test has been taken and we're all passing again and again? If the race is over and we're all born victorious, if the race is over, what then? Do you all remember the Harrison Ford movie, The Fugitive? I know there was a show before then, but I grew up with the movie. And I had a thought when I was watching The Fugitive a long time ago. I tend to get obsessively interested in watching movies, certain movies, like I learn them by heart, like Groundhog Day I know by heart, and Hunt for Red October for no apparent reason I know by heart. Just watch them enough times. I was watching The Fugitive probably for the 14th time, back in the day when you owned videotapes, you know? And I had a funny thought while I was watching that movie. Because the entire movie, if you've never seen it, is about a guy who is unjustly accused and convicted of a crime, of a murder, and he escapes from jail not to flee to Costa Rica, but to prove his innocence. And he is hunted by not just law enforcement, but by the people who framed him for the rest of the movie. And I had this funny thought as I was watching this movie, like I'm anxious and nervous watching this movie. I'm totally into it. I'm excited. Every twist and turn has my heart racing. But that's only because, hear me out, it's only because him dying, Harrison Ford dying, is a bad outcome. Like, the entire movie is Harrison Ford barely avoiding getting killed. And it keeps your heart pounding to think, oh no, don't die. Oh no, please don't die. Over and over again. That's the impelling feeling of the whole suspenseful thing that you're watching for 2 hours, is trying to keep Harrison Ford alive, right? And then I had, as I sometimes do, a free associating little leap of thinking. It's the way my brain works. And it suddenly occurred to me, I wonder how many movies are predicated on the simple premise that dying is bad. Like, okay, I mean, by the way, I'm not going to disagree. I don't want to die. But dying is bad. And I started looking at movies and thinking, it's everywhere. Like, every action movie is predicated on the simple premise that the good guy or girl must not die. Dying is bad. Living is good. And you hang on to them staying alive. And that is the root of the drama, if that makes sense. I started scanning and realizing that's everywhere. That's a presumed fear. You can stir that pot anytime you want with any act of drama or theater or art. You can stir the fear of dying or disease or whatever. You can stir it, and you've got the audience hooked. You know. Now, as I say, I'm a hypocrite because I don't want to die, and I especially don't want to die as a husband and a dad. Right? Like it has extra freight. I am 100% sure if you gave me 5 minutes and you said in 5 minutes your heart stops beating, I was going to spend the next 5 minutes, if I couldn't reach out to my boy and my wife, I would spend those 5 minutes just playing out really probably the grief of my boy being, growing up without a dad, of what I was never going to see or never going to share with him, or, you know what I mean? That would be, so I'd have regrets and I would have grief about it. But the attachment to being alive is a broader attachment, I think, than just like watching A Fugitive and hoping Harrison Ford doesn't die. We have attachments to certain things that are unconscious and deep and all-consuming. In fact, the Harrison Ford idea, the protagonist must not die, I think, I'm not being flip or cavalier about this. I think that notion that death is bad has been the prevailing terror across the entire human race the last 2.5 years. The presumption that dying is bad, and again, I'm not arguing, I'm just saying. We have done everything to avoid that one thing. Stopped working, stopped seeing people, stopped holding hands of someone we knew and loved in the hospital, stopped going to school, stopped going to parks, stopped everything. Everything gave way to the one thing. It just did. It was like my Harrison Ford idea from like 1998, writ large. It was like I was watching the entire, and I really did have this thought like, wow, that is such a deep attachment that we have, that if that fear is provoked, we will do anything at all, unimaginable things, I think we'd say, wouldn't we say? We've done unimaginable things you never thought you'd see over the last 2.5 years to avoid death. Now, on a less severe or less extreme part of the spectrum of these fears, of these attachments we have, there's also the attachment we have to endings of all kinds. The fear we have of endings, relationships ending, businesses ending, roles in our lives ending. The last time you could jog a marathon, the last time I could sing a high note, the Beatles breaking up. Endings. We hate them. A business failing. How long do we hold on to a business? And not ignore the facts on the ground, not ignore that the market has moved on or that the customers just aren't there, but just kind of hold on to what we already know and just want to just force it to work. Force it to work. And in the pandemic case, I mean, we forced, obviously in some ways we succeeded, in some ways we failed. I mean, congratulations. We've kind of all got this virus. You know what I mean? We kind of failed to suppress it. But we certainly did some saving, I mean, for sure. Some saving of life, and even more so, some saving of illness, for sure. But we did that with force of will. I mean, we tamped down on ordinary life with serious vim and vigor. I mean, we went for it. And how many times have you or I tamped down on a feeling that a relationship was over because it was just too familiar and long-lasting to imagine it being over. And I'm vacillating, I'm oscillating here between different ideas, but they're all to me the same sort of notion. How hard do you work to keep something going that wants to end? If you're going to vote in a couple of days, do you vote? Or do you drop a piece of paper in a box and dream of a better world and imagine a tide against you and feel like the world is ending if your outcome, your chosen outcome isn't the correct one, and it's all falling down around you, and how do we stem the tide of catastrophe and disaster? Which way do you vote? Do you vote by going into a room and exercising a truly sacred, profound, powerful, constitutionally protected, historic right? Or do you go in feeling like you're fighting a war and losing? It's a different vibe, a different feeling. And again, I'm going to go between these themes, but do you enter a relationship and need it to last, or do you enjoy it while you're in it and keep your eyes and your heart open to changes as they happen? We can hold on to what we know with everything, or we can allow what is actually happening to just happen. And another way of looking at it, seems to me, is we can tell ourselves we're in charge, or we can admit that we're not. I mean, how in charge do you feel of your finances? My bubby worked for over 25 years at Sears Roebuck in corporate. The corporate office, which was Sears Tower in Chicago. Although she was afraid of heights, so she never went past the third floor. Not kidding. And she was about, it makes sense, she was about 4 feet tall. And for her, that building must have looked even bigger than for most people. So back then, it was the 70s and the 80s. Back then, when you went to work for a company, you know, they kept you. And Sears kept her for a long time. She didn't even have a high school diploma, and they kept her. But now, do you know anybody who's worked in the same place for 20 years? Not so much. So in other words, you could say, oh, I know my finances because I have a job. Well, do you? I mean, the last 2.5 years, did you? You know, are you in charge of your retirement fund? Where's the money? In stocks? Who's controlling those? Elon Musk, Jeff Bezos? The Federal Reserve? Elected officials? It's ugly. If you really think about it, no. But so what can you, just as an example of the finances, what can you control? This is something I've learned from my wife, who's much smarter than me. You can control not throwing away money at a restaurant that overcharges. You know what I mean? You can just not go there. I'm not naming names, but I was shocked when a friend of mine took me out to breakfast at a place that is not national, but bigger than that, and not a hotel, but more of a personal residence. And they don't make waffles, they make some other breakfast food. And when she and her husband, did you figure out who I was talking about? Yeah. And she and her husband took me out to breakfast, and I had pancakes and eggs, and so did they, and it was $50 for the three of us to eat. And we didn't do anything exceptional. We just ordered breakfast. Right. If you're shocked, I was shocked. Well, that's the kind of thing my wife does not allow to happen. So that we can control. We can control eating at home instead of eating out. I had, and I love, a very popular pizza chain named after a very popular old game. I don't know why I'm not naming Domino's. That's stupid. I eat Domino's pizza sometimes late at night. They're open late. I finish a concert at 10 or 11 o'clock. I need to eat something, and I get a thin pizza from Domino's. which has gone now, at least it was in the last couple times I've eaten it, has gone from $7 or $8 on a special to $12 or $13 or $14. Well, I have to start thinking, I got to report back to my wife. You know? So we can control that. You can control setting aside money in the 401k. You can. You can control taking care of your home so that it doesn't lose value that you can control. Can you control a hurricane that hits you in Florida? No. Can you control termites? Kinda. But as we sit here, they're eating this building and every building we all live in. So they just are. Can you control how long your car lasts? Kinda. You can replace the oil and you can address the squeak. But the sun's beating down on that paint. It's going to erode. And every moving part breaks. You can't stop things from ending, but you can tell yourself that you can. And you find yourself, me, you, all of us, find ourselves in a permanent, tensed, clenched position where we're holding on for what we think is dear life. Meanwhile, dear life is skating right by. So much pushing and pulling, so much fighting and straining, so much laboring against waves and wind. I am tired, my arms are weary, my back is aching, my eyes are bleary. I think I'm finally ready to give in. I have struggled, I have cried, I have screamed inside about the kind of life I've tried to lead. Well, right now, I think it's time, for the very first time, to lay down my body and mind and just be. If I stop steering my boat, does it sink? Oh no, current carries it along just so. If I stop steering my life, I'm gonna be all right. I'll just go where the ocean says to go. Down the block or to the moon, round the world or just to my room. I can't say where I'm supposed to end up. I've resisted for so long, as if I could do no wrong, and it's never been quite good enough. It's a funny thing, I guess, this prideful human saying yes without knowing what I'm agreeing to. But there's a simple fact I find, the decision's never been mine. All I'll ever do is what I'm meant to do. If I stop steering my boat, does it sink? Oh no, current carries it along just so. If I stop steering my life, I'm gonna be all right. I'll just go where the ocean says to go. It's a scary thing for sure, to lay down my oars and quit pretending that I've ever been in charge. But it's scarier still to spend my strength and will and never even have a peaceful heart. So here goes the toughest thing. Ironic, don't you think, that it's so hard and so easy all at once? No, it's not laziness, it's just the deepest kind of trust that I'm okay when all is said and done. I'm okay when all is said and done. If I stop steering my boat, does it sink? Oh no, current carries it along just so. If I stop steering my life, I'm gonna be all right. I'll just go where the ocean says to go. I'll just go where the ocean says to go. The notion of being in control extends if you start looking through that lens, which I have done since writing these songs and having an experience. I had an experience, this is now 15 years ago, where I spent 3 months on sabbatical. This was before wife, before child, before dog, before home. So if you're about to say 3 months, lucky you, yeah, I know. I'm absolutely aware and probably can never do it again. But there it was. I took 3 months away from the madness and awfulness of Los Angeles and moved into a little town called Moab in Utah, which is Canyonlands National Park area and Arches National Park, Red Rock paradise, and very unoccupied in the winter, some of the darkest skies in the United States, and some of the most beautiful scenery in the world. And for those 86 days, I laid out under the stars and I took naps on arches. And I hiked into slot canyons and I listened to water coming down a mountain into that shadowy canyon. That was a thing I was sitting at when I wrote that line. Flowing from pool to stream is what I was watching. And it was headed towards the sea because the Colorado River runs past Moab. That was what I was experiencing. I was very flattered that you knew those lines, by the way. That time, and by the way, I should have led with, not only am I a hypocrite, but I'm a child of 2 lawyers. I'm as cynical as they get. So if you're sitting there thinking, if you stop steering your boat, dummy, it is going to sink. Yeah, a part of me knows that. But first of all, it's a metaphor. And second of all, just because you're cynical and questioning, but if I sing "If the Race is Over" and you're sitting there thinking, dude, the race is not over. Right? So am I. But I have found even dabbling in the philosophy that I'm attempting, probably inadequately to share, just dabbling in it makes a difference. Entertaining the possibility that the thing that's keeping me up at night may not be mine to solve. The chemotherapy, the employment, the relationship, the child, the relationship with your parent, the aching knee, climate change, the fate of American politics. Are these, and I go from small to large, but are any of those things actually yours to fix such that staying up all night worrying about them will get it done? We have plenty to worry about, and Lord knows there are plenty of people willing to sell us more worries on a daily basis. So what if it wasn't yours to fix? Whatever it is, you plug it in. What if it wasn't yours to fix? What then? What goes into the void that you and I fill with unease? That's a big void in some lives. That's a big void in some days. If you take out the worry and the illusion of control, that's a lot of space in your day to eat hot fudge sundaes and take walks. These are the first 2 things that come to my mind, which tells you something. Right? What steps into that void? Before I close, I just want to, and I could talk and have talked 4 days in retreats and workshops on this subject. There's a lot more I could say. I could give you some more of the nature imagery and why water was such a perfect teacher of this kind of surrender. The fact that water does everything good and beautiful on earth and yet manages to never have a planning meeting. No offense to the meeting we had earlier. That water never makes a to-do list. Water never says, I am definitely not in your toilet. I am too good for your toilet. I already carved the Grand Canyon. Don't you know who I am? Water doesn't say, there's no way in hell I'm going down that waterfall. That scares me. Water doesn't say, I was a wave in Maui. I am not going to lock up in a glacier for 10,000 years. Not going to do it. Water doesn't flash a resume. Water doesn't remember what it's ever done, seemingly, and doesn't ever tell you where it's going or ask. It doesn't care what it's ever been or what it's ever done or where it's going. It only does what? Today, what it's its job to do today. If today is the day it pools or freezes or falls as rain, so be it. If today is the day it widens the Grand Canyon by a grain of sand, which you and I know we would feel very unsatisfied about, then so be it. One grain of sand off the side of the Grand Canyon. If water is a sip of water in somebody's mouth, great. If it's spit from an actor, so be it. If it's pee, so be it. If it's a muddy puddle, so be it. If it's a cloud, if it's locked in an aquifer, if it's coming up, my favorite example of a marquee moment for water comes up in Old Faithful, and 2,000 people take a picture of it. I'm fabulous, look at me, and then geologists are guessing, truly guessing, that the water you see erupt from Old Faithful in that big moment when thousands of people, and there really are, hundreds and thousands, every single eruption of Old Faithful in Yellowstone National Park, every 75 minutes or so, a crowd gathers, everybody taking the same stupid picture that nobody else wants to see, but because it's so spectacular, and it really is, and you're in a landscape that looks so otherworldly and prehistoric and spectacular, and there are buffalo lounging by the mud pots, and you can't even believe what you're seeing, so you take that stupid picture that you never look at again because you can't believe what you're witnessing. That water, having that moment, like an Academy Awards red carpet moment, is thought to go underground and simmer and boil and be compressed in approximately the most unbearable conditions for somewhere around 1,000 years before it gets to erupt again. I don't know about you, but coming home from the Academy Awards, if you told me that I would not get to walk the red carpet again for 20 years, it would be kind of a bummer. But water does today what is its job to do today, and yet manages without any of the planning or worrying. No talking heads on TV, no best-selling self-help books guide its way. Water manages to do everything miraculous and beautiful on earth, starting with life and ending with sunsets and clouds and erosion and Grand Canyons and beautiful head of hair, and the color in our eyes, and the blood in our veins. It's all water. Well done, water. So what are we so fixated on planning for? That's really where the water idea came from. It became an album called Water, and it became a whole way of living, a whole way of looking at life that I, like I said, inconsistently apply. Absolutely. But when I just experiment and think, okay, Danny, you are freaking out about this. Maybe I could relax my hands off the steering wheel a little bit and see where the ocean is telling it to go. Because I am not going to successfully fight the ocean. I just may lay up all night imagining that I can. The difference is not the outcome, the difference is how I'm feeling along the way. So as a last little experiment, I know I'm late, hopefully that's all right for you today. Last little experiment. I'll just pose the question. Think of one of or two of the best things in your life. Go. Your dog, your husband, your wife, your home, your talent, your butt, I don't care what you think of. The best things in your life, you got it? Now ask yourself, how'd they get there? Were they on a 10-point plan? Did you major in it in college? Did anybody as a kid look at you and say, that's going to be one of your favorite things? Maybe, right? Maybe somebody would have seen it in me, but maybe not. Did you plan on meeting your spouse? Did you plan on your kid being the most delicious human being in the history of the world? Did you plan on your dog being the perfect fit to your family? Nope. You can claim it if you want, but I'm going to go ahead and call BS on that. No. The best things in life, the best day of the vacation is which day? The day you don't book solid. The best restaurant in your life probably is the restaurant you accidentally went into. The house you live in may very well be the last house you looked at. And not because you then bought it, but because you didn't even think of buying that one. The neighborhood, the town you live in, did you plan it? Maybe. But here's my point. We're all going where the ocean says to go no matter what. And the best things in our life, I don't know if in 15 years I've ever heard a real exception. Because even if you say, oh yeah, I planned that career, I would ask you then, okay, well, how did the urge to have that career get in you? Where'd that come from? Oh, I don't know. I guess my grandfather once said something. Okay, so it doesn't take much scratching beneath the surface to find mystery, to find nature operating just like it carves the canyon, carving your life and mine. There is peace of mind. It's emotional for me. If you think about how much we worry. Right now, every news channel on every possible point on the political spectrum screaming at us that the future of humankind rests on things that they want us to believe worrying about it keeps us safer. And the truth is, one person, one vote, one day. What are you going to do today? You want a kinder world? Be kind to the person you meet. You want another $1 million? Earn another $1 today. You want to get your blood pressure down 40 points? Walk up the stairs instead of taking the elevator. One time. Today, you and I are in charge. For sure. By the way, we're not in charge at 4 o'clock right now. But right now it's 11:05 or 12:05, whatever, 11:05, right? Somebody changed the clock on the day of the time change? All right, somebody deserves credit for that. Who changed the clock? Who changed the clock? Was it you?
The universe.
Come on. Did somebody take that clock off the wall and change it?
No, it's an atomic clock.
All right, well, some genius invented an atomic clock that corrects itself. Anyway, that's impressive. So today, we can't control 3 o'clock today or 4 o'clock. We cannot. We can control 11:05 to 11:12. That's in the window, right? We can control basic integrity of words out of our mouth, but not how things are going to shake out. You can make your best effort. I have a new album just came out. I can't control if it's good. I can't control if anybody buys it. I can't control if anyone likes it. I can't control if it makes me an extra $1. I can't control any of it. What can I control? That it's the best line I can think of. That it's the best guitar playing I can manage on that day, not 6 months ago or 6 months from now. You want to heal your business? Smile a little more at the customer today. Experiment with a new idea today. That's it. You can say it's a 10-year plan, but it's not. Every 10-year plan ends about 3 months in. It's always changing. It's always changing. And things are always beginning and always ending. From our bodies to the entire literal universe. Beginning and ending. Outside of any one person's control. That's not a reason to despair. It's a reason to relax. So if the best things in your life came when you weren't looking, weren't expecting, weren't planning, why would you even want to be writing the story line by line? What if you allowed today to just be and allow the future to just be
and to allow the past to rest. Water does it and pulls off miracles every single day. Let me sing you one song to close.
I'm through asking where I'm going. I've been asking all my life. I've grown tired of all this wondering when everything seems to turn out right. So when my mind needs something to do, wants to know the future, I whisper this: I'm okay. I've always been, and I'll always be that way. Want to sing that line with me? I'm okay. I'm okay. I've always been, and I'll always be that way, and I'll always be that way. So here goes nothing. I'm taking a chance. I'm opening up, knowing that I'm in good hands. And here goes everything. It's all on the line, oh, but I'm not afraid this time. Some say it's crazy, some say naive, to close my eyes and take the lead. But I know better, 'cause I believe even in the dark my soul can see. So when my mind plays its usual games, oh, my answer is always the same. Yeah. Here goes nothing. I'm taking a chance. I'm opening up, knowing that I'm in good hands. And here goes everything. It's all on the line. Oh, but I'm not afraid this time. Here goes nothing. I'm taking a chance. I'm opening up, knowing that I'm in good hands. And here goes everything. It's all on the line. No, but I'm not afraid this time. No, I'm not afraid this time. 'Cause I'm okay. I've always been, and I'll always be that way. I'm okay. I've always been, and I'll always be that way.
Thank you, Daniel. And I get a message from you there. And it's releasing the outcome, which is a universal message that we have gotten for a long time. And recognizing we're all in the same river, so here goes nothing. It's now time for our love offerings. If the ushers come forward, and we will bless our offerings, right? Together, God's love through me blesses and multiplies all that I am and have, all that I give and receive. I am grateful.
All right, we have one more song for you to wrap up, and I'm going to go a very different direction for fun. So thank you. Is this on? Yeah, there you go. Thank you for having me. I hope you found that interesting, if nothing else, thought-provoking. And I hope you'll stick around. I'll be singing more songs at noon, just for call like an hour and a half show. No intermission, nothing fancy, just a bunch more music. I have as I said, I have a brand new album out. It's like 3 weeks old today, I think. And I haven't sung anything from it in the service because it didn't make sense to, thematically, but I think you'll enjoy some of the new music, which I'll do at noon, and take a couple requests if you have them, and have a little bit of fun. So you're invited to stick around, and real briefly, I'll just say outside of my table, I have a couple of things that are a little unusual or new. One of them is, so I have music out at the table, obviously, maybe obviously, and so I've been making records for a long time. The new album is my 23rd album, and it's called Real, and it's about real feelings, and as I said, you'll hear some of those songs at noon. So I guess I'm gradually, because I'm only about 5 years past the point where society, or certainly car manufacturers and music makers and so on, have started to phase out CDs. You know, I mean, I still listen to CDs, but in my car mostly. But I have these download cards, which means it's simply, you go to, on your phone, if you're gonna listen on your phone anyway, and you don't have a CD player, it takes 2 seconds to download. You can have it before the time you reach your car. You just go to a little website on your phone and punch in a little number, and you have the album. So I'm doing that now. It saves paper, and it saves plastic, and it saves time, and it's cheaper than buying a CD. And I'm even making the downloads cheaper than they ever were before. So if you feel like downloading an album or two, or 4 or 6, they're out there on these little cards that you buy for only a few dollars an album. Then I have a USB drive, a flash drive, and I always say, if you don't know what it is, don't ask me, you don't want it. But a flash drive, it's a little thing, goes in your computer, and it has all 14 of my inspirational albums. 175 or so songs now, including the brand new album. And it's less than $5 a record, and it's a good deal if you want a lot of music. So I have the USB drive out on the table. And then the other thing I have is very, very pretty shiny objects. I'm going to preempt, I don't mean to do it, preempt time-wise your fair that you're having with jewelry that my wife makes. It's solid silver, beautiful things that she makes. Necklaces and rings and bracelets, and she's doing very cool. There's some mermaids she's just made, and really, really cool things. So even if you just feel like looking, I'm a very proud husband, and I show off my wife's wares. She stays home with the boy, spends all day making these things out of silver. She's not a bohemian artist. It's all made with, it's not beads and things. It's real presses and torches, and I don't know what she does. It's pretty intense. It takes a long time. So anyway, so that's why I have all the shiny objects at my table. That's my wife's art, and it's really beautiful things. And that's all I have to say. Now I'm going to do a song that is very different. And I'm going to do it partly just to shake things up, go a slightly different direction, and partly because for those of you who aren't coming to the concert, I still like you to hear the song. It's a little bit of a kick, maybe a kick in the pants. But it's a song that
was a culmination for me of about 20-something years of really wondering what it is that I do musically. Where is this mic? If you could boost the mic, maybe just boost it in the monitor. Would be good. But wondering what kind of music I make. I have a very puzzling career. It kind of doesn't exist in the music world. I mean, 25 years later, I don't have an answer to the question of the person sitting next to me on the plane. What kind of music do you make? I'm like, I don't know. Guess it's pop music. It's not spiritual, I guess, sometimes, but it's not. As soon as you say spiritual, people assume it's Christian and gospel music. No, I'm not Christian. No, it's not that. And I'm a child of Holocaust survivors. And my family, like many refugee and immigrant families, went through a lot to arrive in the United States. And it's only kind of slowly dawned on me what it is I do and the way I do it and the intensity with which I do it and the reason I do it, that it's in honor of, in a very real sense, it's in honor of family members I've never met, names that are forgotten and faces that are forgotten, who died in 1939 in Poland, and grandparents who went through hell on earth and arrived in the United States to have children who then had children, who now have children. And so writing this song was really kind of a learning experience for me and a very clarifying experience. It also gave me an opportunity to pay tribute to a good number of songs that inspired and modeled for me the kind of music I make. I'm not actually alone in this, historically, in singing a song that's just intended to make the world a little bit of a nicer place. It sounds like a vague thing, and you can't say that in the music industry. They think, why would you want to do that? Wouldn't you rather make a living, It's true. It's true. If you turn on the radio, you hear codependent love songs. You hear cranky, crabby, I love you, I miss you, why'd you leave me, I wish I left you, I should have left you again, why'd you leave me again, why didn't we leave me a third time, you break my heart, please break my heart, will you unbreak my heart, I want my heart to be broken. I mean, on and on, every phrase could be a hit song. And now we have this from Danny, whatever the hell this is. So I hope you enjoy it, and thank you again. And I appreciate your patience with going long today. Here we go.
I could sing about mistakes I've made, broken hearts and broken wings. I could sing about my aches and pains and the one that got away. But it seems to me the world has its hurts to spare. Shadows are everywhere. I've decided I've cried enough. There's plenty of songs about tough luck. I'm gonna sing about love. Gonna sing about love. Lift somebody up instead of talking about tough luck. I can't deny I still dream about the glory, the Grammy, the gold. I cannot lie. I still wish sometimes my eyes and my heart would close. But it seems to me my family escaped the war, and they never sang anymore. They lost everything they had. And if a song is all I can give back, I'm gonna sing about love. Whoa. Gonna sing about love. Whoa. Lift somebody up. Lift somebody up. Gonna sing about love. Instead of talking about tough love. Whoa, no more tough love. Tell you what I'm gonna do. Gonna take my cue from a few folks I look up to. I'm gonna sing about love. smiled at the rising sun. Eminem will lose himself before the moment's gone. Miss Jackson knows the knowledge is what we want. Gloria Gaynor maintain that we're gonna survive. Tim McGraw wants us to live like we are dying. Aretha got R-E-S-P-E-C-T. Bette Midler from a distance, the whole world we see. Tom Petty, Free Falls, Leanne Hopes, we dance. Josh Groban raises us up if we're hurting. R.E.M. understands. Irving Mead left the USA. Van Morrison ushered in a brand new day. Whitney sang about the greatest love of all. Johnny Nash can see clearly now the rain won't fall. Take knows we're beautiful. Christina does too. Rihanna sees us shining like a diamond. We keep walking like the Foo Fighters. Fight the power up. Gonna be sad. Miley is a climber. Andy Grammer keeps his head up. Bill Withers, we can lean on him. Natasha's unwritten. Taylor Swift shakes it off again. Lady Gaga was born this way. Jason Mraz truly glad to be our friend today. The Black Eyed Peas wonder where is the love. Desiree got a beat. Journey never stop believing in us. Simon over troubled water made a bridge. Elton John lit a candle for Diana. He did. It's the same love. Macklemore was moved to pray. Izzy made a rainbow with the ukulele. James Brown, loud and proud. Bruce Hornsby laid it out the way it is. Queen made us such a champion. You too. Dr. King and the power of one. Sam Cooke made your love. Change is gonna come. Peter Gabriel ain't giving up on us. Just if we are the world save lives. No star they couldn't get. Irene Cara, what a feeling alive. Pharrell made us happy. Katy Perry lit a firework in the sky. Carole King, we've got a friend. Switchfoot dared us all to move again. Paul McCartney's words of wisdom were to let it be. The weight of the world was taken off by Aloe Black and Avicii. So what you gonna do? So what do I do? What you gonna do? I'll tell you what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna sing about love. Sing about love. Sing about love. Be happy, it'll be alright. Lift somebody up. Sing about talking about tough love. I'm gonna sing about love.
Thank you, Daniel. It's now time to recite our affirmation of divine substance. Together, the inexhaustible resource of spirit is equal to every demand. There is no reality in lack. Abundance is here and now manifest. And now, it's time for our peace song. And so if you would stand, I don't know if you want to get in a circle, it's up to you how you want to do this, but I like the circle because then we can see each other.
Are you all ready? Here we go. Looking kind of ready.
closing affirmation is, peace begins with me. Together, peace begins with me. Thank you, and enjoy the rest of the day. Don't forget the concert.